My name is Joseph Hurst. I live in Ankeny, Iowa, and I'm a part of the PMBA program. I currently work as the Director of Sales at Stony Creek Hotels in Johnston, Iowa, and I chose the Iowa State MBA program because it just made perfect sense. About 2 years ago, I started this wonderful program, and I couldn't imagine not having done it. What has helped the most balance work, life, school, has been the people I'm in class with. It's great to go through questions, problems, study for tests, and it just makes the whole class so much easier. As a working professional thinking about doing an MBA program, I get night classes aren't everybody's dream. I get after a long day of work, you may not want to go do more, but it's worth it. You're going to learn a lot, not just from the professors in the program, but from the other students. They come from all walks of life. They are from different age groups. They're from different companies. They're from all kinds of different backgrounds. They've got all kinds of different stories. And after 2 years, I've made some of the best friends I've ever made, learned the most I've ever learned, and I can't imagine what we're going to do after we're done.
Success in farming is all about precision and efficiency, ensuring every seed, every drop of water, every nutrient and treatment counts. Terraplex Ag is helping farmers all over Iowa and the Midwest do just that. With precision ag drone technology and support from Terraplex, you'll boost your productivity and make timely and informed decisions, all while reducing your costs and increasing your profit. It's time to revolutionize your farming. Harvest the benefits with Terraplex Ag. Visit TerraplexAg.com.
Chris Williams, Brent Blum, from the Wild Rose Casino Studio. It's Williams and Blum, presented by Mechdyne, on the Cyclone Fanatic Podcast Network.
Welcome to the show. We are live here on your Wednesday morning. Most of you are still probably listening on demand.
You got 190 people watching.
Like in the first minute. Yeah, we'll have 2,000 by the time.
Tell your friends.
Yeah.
We're live.
The live thing is really taken off over the last couple of years.
Nobody wants to work today.
Exactly. The hell you want to do that for? You hang out with Williams and Blum.
That's right.
Here in the Wild Rose Casino Studios. We got Iowa State Cincinnati coming up. I'm fired up. This is a really interesting game. We're going to get to it. We got field smack from Coach Satterfield over there in Cincinnati. With some hoops. Of course, our Whipples Hybrids Big 12 segment with some interesting games coming up this weekend in the Big 12 Conference. We are presented, as always, by our friends at Mechdyne. Speaking of smack, we had a Ford Chevy smack on the old text chain this morning with Clover.
I didn't participate. I have a Toyota.
I've driven Toyotas before. Fine vehicle. There's
Fine
one vehicle I've never owned, and that's a Ford.
I've never owned it. Well, I take that back.
I don't have a problem with Fords either. I don't really get into this, but
I have a Ford Flex still.
Oh, yeah. Nice vehicle.
Again, not the most sexy looking thing, but man, that thing is economical. Looks like a box on wheels.
If you're not watching on the stream, I am wearing my Jaden Higgins NIL t-shirt. All he does?
Catch touchdowns. Could use a couple on Saturday.
Might need more than a couple.
Might need more than a couple.
Might need more than a couple. Look how cool this thing looks, though. Martz did a great job with this one. Check it out. Go buy one. Support Jaden. Support all of our NIL athletes at CycloneFanaticShop.com. We have the Barnes Farm coming out today. Barnes Farm shirts and hats. We got the one walk-on who's playing a ton of minutes this year for Iowa State. And I believe he doesn't get paid by you, does he?
He hopefully will.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know how that works. But point is, he's not making a lot of money. So I think it'd be cool if Iowa State fans...
Without getting all the details, yes, you're right.
Iowa State fans need to go and swarm this kid with love and buy your freaking Barnes Farms gear.
Love it.
We worked with his family, his mom and dad, who are great people. I had a long afternoon with them in Memphis last year and didn't even know it was them. Aiden saw it and ended up with me spending about $40 on touch tunes playing William Hung in Memphis. Happens. Guys, it happens. Just deal with it, okay? But the Barnes family, they're really good people. So the hat is really cool. So go and buy a... How cool would it be this Saturday night? Well, I doubt you get it by this Saturday night. But you got your cycle gear on and you got a Barnes Farms hat.
Get it in time for the finale.
Yeah, and you can wear it to Hilton.
Yeah.
It's cool stuff, and it's got that old school like tornado on it. It's really good.
Speaking of March, he's making. We're releasing our men's and women's basketball NIL shirts. The whole team.
That's coming out today too.
It's coming.
That is coming out today too, and we have old school basketball and wrestling quarter zips.
Just in time for the holidays.
These are the Chris Williams inspired designs. Mine are very plain. It's black and it's walking side. That's it. That's all you need. Nothing else. I come from the Matt Campbell School of Uniforms.
Speaking of uniforms, real quick, Iowa State has worn the school colors 2 games in a row.
Yeah, I think it's time to change that.
I think we got to go back to the black.
Yeah, I think you'd change that.
I mean, just saying.
Or just go the white.
Go back to the stormtrooper look.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's gonna be a night game. Could be looking.
There's nothing worse than when a team wears its school colors.
You're gonna get heat for that, and I don't know.
Oh, I'm gonna have people like canceling their subscriptions. I'm kidding. Well, you guys just calm down. Everybody just take a deep breath here on a Wednesday morning.
We're having a good time.
We are presented as always by Mechdyne. Pour yourself a glass of Cody Road bourbon. Probably not at 9 o'clock in the morning, but you know what I mean. Yeah, the Cincinnati game coming up. The vibes are not great. I did, and spare me with your quit making excuses. This isn't an excuse. Again, like I said on Sunday, sometimes there's an excuse, moral victories, all that stuff. This is a reason. I want to run down the list of people. These are injuries that I have come up with.
Okay.
On Iowa State's roster, specifically on the defense. But this is this, and I also know that I'm not aware of everybody.
Yeah, there's several guys that are playing hurt.
Yes, but
they're not. They wouldn't be on the injury report.
So here's what I've got: defensive line, Dominic Orange. Mm-hmm. Although I'm hearing positives about him on Saturday, so we'll see.
To be helpful.
Trent Jones has been playing injured.
Yeah, he hasn't only been playing injured; he's been out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Kennard Snyder we just got him back a couple weeks ago, but he's not anywhere near 100%.
Correct.
Linebacker, you have these guys that have been out: Caleb Bacon, Zach Lovett, Carson Willich, Will McLaughlin. Brazina is playing injured. Jacob Ellis is playing sparingly. And then Klosterman, the walk-on who we saw, he hasn't been in, right?
No, he's out.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because he was playing early, like
pretty significant knee injury.
Yeah. So the only other one is Emming. Is he hurt?
I don't know what his story is.
Is he just not playing? Yeah, I don't know. In the secondary, Freeler, we all know his story. He's basically playing at like 60%. Verdon's the same way that I've been told. Miles Purchase has been hurt, but he's playing.
Yep.
Like a hand or something.
Broke his hand. Yep.
Drew Surges would probably be starting right now.
Hasn't played all year.
Yeah,
he played like the first game.
And then Darian Porter has not been 100% for a while, even though he's playing quite well, actually. I think he's been
Trevon Howard's been out.
Howard, I missed him.
Yep.
Good one. On the offensive line, Dylan Barrett, and Dylan Hester. Tight end, you've got Ben Bramer and Tyler Moore. Klotz has been injured. He's playing now. Wide receiver, Daniel Jackson. And then running back, Carson Hansen, who has been playing not at 100%, which I'm thinking is, I don't know. And again, I don't even really ask about injuries because it's pointless. But I just can't imagine he's 100% with the pitch count that he's been on. Like, I feel like there's got to be some management going on right there with Carson Hansen. So, again, I put that together last night. I wasn't even going to do it on the show, but I had fans ask me some of our
like 20.
I have like 25 guys.
25.
Yeah. And specifically on the defense, when you just get hit in the same spot time and time again, like they have at linebacker. I enjoyed Matt's talk yesterday about, getting guys in the right spot and all that stuff. When you just have had so many people, it is challenging. To their credit, they are manning up, as you would expect for a big boy 7-2 football team like Iowa State is these days. But I also think that there's just good perspective going into this weekend because, and that's just where I land. It's just like, Iowa State needs to try and outscore teams, right? Like you and I I think we come at this from a little bit of a different way. You're more of an analytical data. I'm more of a, no, you're missing 500 people on defense, go out and try and score 50 type. But I think the injuries provide good perspective as to where Iowa State is going into this football game.
Yeah, for sure. And this is a capable Cincinnati offense too. And I think it's going to be interesting to see the theory. I thought what Matt said yesterday of team football is what he called it. I still think there's something there. Like what he said yesterday was I appreciate Matt taking onus on this, did not let the team get in the rhythm of the football game on Saturday. Mm-hmm. What I think he meant by that is in that late first quarter, second quarter, Iowa State basically went 3 and out twice and allowed Kansas to just continue to chalk up points and yards. And then at that point,
and then it stresses you out on offense because you can't do your game plan.
And that's where I keep coming back to, C-Dub. I still think, yes, ultimately you're going to have to outscore people, but you got to do it in a smart way.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes a first down is good. You just keep the ball, keep the clock. And if you look at the last couple of games, Iowa State has been destroyed in time of possession. I don't think that's a coincidence of why they've struggled now in some areas too.
And then that plays into as well, to your point, you're a smart football guy.
I know about that.
No, but like the one thing that when I do my Pro Football Focus thing on Sundays, I'm always interested in how many guys play. Like snap counts are really interesting to me.
Yes, I agree.
And the snap counts on defense, there's not much of a rhyme or reason to these things other than they just have to, right? Like, and I would love somebody to ask Matt. I should have had our guys do it. Like, what does the scout team look like right now? Right?
What's practice look like?
Yeah, I have no idea.
That's another great question.
But when you look at what they're doing on defense, there's this guy's coming in for 6 snaps. This guy's coming in, and it makes sense why there was so much confusion in that Kansas game, especially when Verdon went out. It was like, okay, we're putting Tayshaun James, who actually graded out way better than I thought he would. He had the one really bad mix-up, but man, Matt said it in his press conference on Tuesday that he really liked what he saw. So we were all mad. Now I'll be a little bit positive. I don't think the defense can get worse. Like it had to be, right? Because a lot of those guys were doing this for the first time.
You are exactly correct, actually. Yeah. It can't.
I don't think it can get worse.
That is that's rock bottom for this group. I mean, here's the deal. Yes, there are injuries all over the place. Still, Iowa State has been held afloat by the defense for most of the year. And yeah, it's been leaking. It hadn't broke until Saturday. And so I agree. I think that was the one that, okay, everything kind of added up all at that same time frame when Verdon gets hurt. Like that sequence, those 4 drives for Kansas right after that, not a mystery, was when he went out because everybody tried to overcompensate. People got lost in it. Second half was a little bit better. Wasn't great. It was a little bit better. Honestly, a little bit better against Cincinnati. You can win the game. You can hold them under 30 with a little bit better, and that's...
Well, they're a good offense, but they're not explosive like Kansas.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing, and Satterfield talked about that when I watched this press conference yesterday. He said the one takeaway I had from the Iowa State-Kansas game was Kansas was really freaking good. And they were. Like, at some point, you got to say, hey, those guys got some guys, and they made plays. And they made plays against Iowa State. A lot of times it was their twos, but they made plays. Daniels had to put the ball where it was, and he was great. So you hope that Sorsby for Cincinnati isn't quite as good. Maybe the questionable field conditions slow them down a little bit, right? And your guys have some more reps. You're going to get better. I mean, naturally for any of us, we have more reps. We're going to get better. So if Tayshaun James has to play more, and he probably will, he will be better off for the experience on Saturday. And that is the great thing about college football is, yes, it's bad that you have to play all these guys, but guys get better.
Yeah.
There's no question they get better.
And then there's also, I mean, and I'm not banking on anything, but like, are they ever going to get any of these guys back? Like at some point, somebody has to get healthy.
And that's where we're kind of left in the dark.
What's Lovett's deal? Like, is that bad? Like, we keep seeing Jacob Ellis. I don't know anything about it, but God, if they could just get like 2 guys back, it would make a huge difference.
Well, if you can get
It sounds
I
like
agree.
Verdon is probably going to go. I mean, I don't know why they pulled him. Maybe it was just it was a pain thing.
Tolerance.
I don't know. Like, again, only thing we know is he was in a cast against Texas Tech. If he's not in a cast, they probably win the game because he's going to make that interception in the end zone. But I don't know. Like, it. Again, I'm just getting hammered on Twitter and stuff. So I'm like, I'm going to put a list together just for perspective. And again, those are only the guys I know. So my conclusion of it is you don't throw in the towel. You obviously keep grinding, but anything the defense does, in my mind, is kind of a bonus right now. I am going into these last 3 games, think it is go time for this offense. We think it's one of the best offenses in school history.
I think it
is go time. Go out and outscore these teams.
And interestingly, Iowa State still leads the Big 12 in yards. It's just not in points, though.
Yeah, it's because they haven't been good in the red zone. But I think the red zone thing is a little bit like turnovers. I think it evens out over time.
I hope so. And if there's a game to do it, it's Saturday. I agree with you. If I'm Jalen, Jaden, and Rocco and Abu, it's like, guys, all right, defense, like, this is on us now.
I have a decent feeling about getting Barrett back just because he's suited up.
Yeah, he's close.
Kansas.
From what I understand, he's really close. And now the question, Bohr played okay though. So yes, it would help to have Dylan back. But again, an 80% Dylan Barrett, or yeah, that's the tough part. C-Dub,
yeah,
I'm guessing.
I get what you're saying.
As the coaching staff and the training staff, for that matter, how much is having a guy back at not 100% better than? And you won't know that until they get beat, right? And then what happens if they get beat? So everybody deals with it. It just seems like Iowa State is dealing with it to a level that it hasn't in a couple of years.
Cyclones versus the world.
It is that. And, and ultimately last year, yes, the secondary got banged up a little bit, but everybody else was pretty healthy. This is just part of the deal. And I do think, I talked about it on Sunday, and reaffirmed from looking at some stuff early this week, with these roster limits changing, you're going to deal with this a lot more. And I think it's going to be fascinating. Nobody's going to go unscathed anymore throughout major college football, in my opinion.
I really do think that the parity is going to be awesome in this new era.
It's
because
we're already there.
And I understand your types when I say that, like the NIL folk, like you get scared, and it's real. If these schools are all spending $20 million and we only have 5, we're at a disadvantage.
Yep.
You're not wrong.
Yes.
It reminds me a little bit of Major League Baseball, though, where, why for that longest stretch did the Rays always make the playoffs over the, because you can have too much and not, no, we've seen that with Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they had so many more resources than the rest of the Big 12, but they rarely won championships during that era. It's because they made the wrong hires. Their culture
you can still
sucked.
be dumb. Mm-hmm.
And I do think there's a Moneyball aspect of this where these guys are not going to want to sit on Georgia's bench for 4 years waiting for an opportunity. Like, I just don't think the development aspect is going to be as crucial as it once was in the sport.
Yeah, and I think, looking at this week's game, you've got 2, I would say, Iowa State and Cincinnati, similar in the NIL world from what I know. Both programs in that same type, and both have quarterbacks right now, and this is what I want to talk about today. And Rocco for Iowa State, and then Sorsby for Cincinnati's had an awesome year.
Good player.
Really dynamic guy, run it, throw it. He transferred in from Indiana when they got somebody else. And now he's had enough of a year as a sophomore, so he's got 2 years left. Rocco and Sorsby are going to be like prime targets for these big dollar programs this offseason. And I think it's an interesting question for both. I'm going to put them both in that same category. What do you do for them? You're in a situation where you're having great success, both of them. You're comfortable. You enjoy it. However, some of these programs potentially will be able to offer 2, 3, 4x what Iowa State and Cincinnati can. I just think it's for an individual decision, it's very interesting because that's what they're talking about right now in Cincinnati. Similarly, it's like, can we hold on to this guy?
And this is why I think that in this new era, while we focus on players, I would be saying coaches, because if you, I almost think, Brent, you almost have to expect guys like that to leave at some point. And it, right? Like this sounds very damning, but my point, like, again, the Moneyball thing, right? Like of course you want your guy to stay, but you can't spend half of your roster money on one quarterback or whatever.
It's a fantastic question.
But my point is that chances are Rocco will stay because of the coach, right? Now maybe he won't. I don't know. I don't know what the next 3 months are going to do. But if I think that these programs like Iowa State, Cincinnati, any of these Big 12 schools, really,
they're all pretty much in the same.
You're going to be in the same flux. If I'm at Tennessee, it's probably a different story. I need a headhunter as a head coach who's willing to stab somebody in the throat. You know, like.
What my point is,
keep the coaches happy, and then I think that's your recipe to success.
But if I'm a SEC school right now, what am I looking at? I need a quarterback. I'm looking right at those two guys.
Just like when Iowa State needs a transfer in basketball, what are you doing? You're going to St. Bonaventure. You're going to all those winning programs who want at that level, and then you can get them for cheaper because you're offering them more amenities and that type of stuff as well.
And that's where
Northern Iowa. I mean, has anybody gotten hit more than Northern Iowa since Otzelberger became the head coach?
Well, I feel, and then Farley, like we talked about it for a couple of years. I would not want to be Northern Iowa in this era.
No, they're screwed.
It's going.
I feel bad for them, and it's
going downhill.
Yeah, Farley's press conference was.
It's kind of sad.
It was really sad.
Yeah, I was like, geez, remember when you and I they were the deal there when we were growing up.
It was a huge deal.
It was a huge deal. Like they were getting bigger numbers at times at the Unidome than at Iowa State.
I liked what Mark said though. We need to get him on a CW pod. Aiden, write that one down. I've done some interviews with him in the past. He should know who I am. No, I think he'll say yes because he knows I'm not a hater.
Yeah, you're not a hater.
Some of those guys will automatically say no because they just think that you're an Iowa State guy and you're a hater.
Oh, I get it.
His point about giving all these rural farm kids and stuff opportunities was really, really good. I really liked that.
Yeah.
That's a reason we need Northern Iowa. Like, we don't want it to just...
And then I would argue the roster limit thing is not going to be great for your small town Iowa kid in a lot of regards.
No, it's not.
Because I'll give you the raw numbers, guys.
The Olympic sports are going to take it on the chin.
Yeah, well, that's
a whole other deal.
Yeah.
And these it's a farce that they're like, oh, well, your roster limits in wrestling are doubling. Yeah, well, they ain't going to use them.
No one's going to use those. So Iowa State's got about 125 on the roster now for football. They have to get down to 105 next year.
Will they split scholarships?
Probably.
Yeah.
Could. Nobody knows for sure.
I would take like 10 and split them.
But this is where, man, it's going to change really quickly. But
then those guys have to decide like if it's worth it or if they could go to D2.
Or you just stay in school and not play. It's going to be, it's sad because to your point, 20 guys will lose an opportunity to be a part of.
Yeah, there's going to have to be roster cuts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, the only good thing is they're getting a look at everybody this year.
Well,
we're going to have a pretty good idea.
The problem, Iowa State might
playing every freaking walk-on on the
everybody
team.
Already.
Jeez. Anyways, yeah, perspective is always necessary. I could also, you want me to put on my huge homer hat? I will.
Iowa State's still favored by 10.
Yeah, well, it's also, what does it tell you that all these guys have been hurt for the most part, and they're still 7-2, and they lost one of those games by a point. The Kansas game was an abomination, but pisses me off. They should have beat Tech. That's the one that will go. That's the one in 10 years when we're doing like a summer series. We'll look back at that game.
Yeah, and
I really think so.
Just to outline the scenarios here, and we can look at Colorado's schedule. If Iowa State wins out and Colorado loses a game, Iowa State will be in the Big 12 championship still. You got 3 games left. This is the thing. It's like, yes, is everyone disappointed? Absolutely. There is still a path. You're going to be favored by 10 this week. The Utah game will be probably a toss-up. And the K-State game, I don't know if it was played tomorrow. K-State may be a slight favorite just with the Iowa State injury situation. However, that's probably a pick 'em too. Like, it's still there. And Aiden, can you pull up the Colorado schedule? I am on the record. They're going to
play Kansas.
They're going to lose a game. They will lose one of their final 3 games.
Who do they got? Utah, Kansas, and somebody.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
I think.
that's it. They ain't losing to them.
They got to win a game eventually, though, right? Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't know enough about it, but it feels like that team's just gone.
Oklahoma State. Here we go. Yeah, so we got Utah, Big Noon. That's interesting.
So Utah's playing it.
I think Kansas is favored in that game. I do. I think Kansas would be favored against
Well, you want me to
Colorado in Arrowhead or Geehaw.
Yes, good job, Aiden.
I keep calling it Geehaw
Give me 1 minute and I'll tell you who's favored in that game.
because Colorado, again, great story. TV wants Colorado in there. I understand it. They're not infallible here. They still got major issues defensively. And I think,
All right, we're looking at Colorado and Kansas.
yes, Kansas would win that game.
I just get inspired when this
If
song
I'm
comes
power
on.
ranking the Big 12, this sounds asinine right now. Kansas is in the top 3.
That game
Right
right
now.
now on a neutral field would either be Colorado -1 or a pick'em. I if it was at Kansas, it would be a pick'em. I don't know how they
Arrowhead's
do
like,
Arrowhead,
eh.
but I know with the Iowa State line that I think Vegas saw Iowa State decline,
Yeah.
but
So while we're at
they
it,
gave Arrowhead 3 points.
okay. What's Utah Iowa State right now? Can you do that for us?
Hey, put the song back on.
Run
Come
it
on.
back. Well, Benny Hill.
Holy crap. Iowa State is still at least a field goal favorite in that game.
Against Utah?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At least.
We still don't know by the way, we don't know the game time for that yet. That'll
You
be
want
on
to know
Monday.
the Kansas State?
Yeah.
Iowa State would be a 2 to 3 point favorite.
See? The world is not ending. Feels like we're
Now,
Dang.
having said that, Iowa State's taken about a 7-point
I absolutely have.
shot in the power ratings. Here, this just not that it matters. What do you think? How many
Break
points
this
do you think better they are than Iowa right now? At this point in the season?
Iowa State?
Yeah. Just
4.
even.
Oh, pick 'em.
Yeah.
But Iowa's playing like a linebacker, or quarterback now, right? Not
Pretty
that it
much.
matters. Not that it really matters.
Just for shits and giggles. Neutral field, Iowa State versus Indiana.
I'd put it Indiana at 8.
4.
That's it.
Point being, these
Yeah.
Iowa State, Colorado.
Pick 'em.
Neutral field, Colorado -2.
That's the thing is everyone's so down. It's just like it's
BYU,
neutral.
neutral field, BYU.
BYU 2.
BYU 4.
I want to see that game. I still want to go to Dallas, baby. I don't care.
I may or may not have a one-way ticket from Dallas to Minneapolis that Sunday morning to go see Kirk Cousins return to the Metrodome or U.S. Bank Stadium, whatever.
How many?
It is refundable, but Daddy may or may not have already purchased that.
Did you buy the insurance? Just in case. Yeah, I'm saying it's still like it's out there. Still, despite all this, it's still.
So
out
you're telling me there's a chance.
there. Yes. Samsonite.
All right, thank you, Aiden.
Yeah, that's good.
I'll give our little extra friends to our love to our friends at Webwise. We'll guess the point spreads. I want to thank
You see my Wiffles hybrid?
I do.
tag?
You have a nice. I got a. So they gave us 2, and I gave you the green one, and mine has a duck on it because I figured I'm more of a duck hunter type than you.
Yeah, I'm not a duck guy.
I'm glad we all got Wiffles Hybrids hats. That's really cool.
Give a shout out to Trista for that. Maybe she'd send you one after watching this. Come on, you're not a Wiffles hat wearer. Come on,
I saw
you're
Aiden,
wearing joggers at work.
I saw Aiden's dad on Saturday, and I said, "How are the yields?"
Oh, you just say that to the farmer.
Yeah.
And let me guess, he bitched about him. Farmers
No,
just bitch about
no,
him.
No, he said they're yielding just like Aiden.
Yeah.
They're yielding.
Be honest, did you have, during that conversation, did you understand what he was saying? Because I sure as heck did not most of the time.
Here's the thing, Aiden. When you work in my line of business, you learn to just fake it really
Sure.
well. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, pretty dry.
Shout out.
I
Wyden's
like
on
your
farms.
dad. I like your dad. Though.
Again, and I can say this because all my farmer friends laugh because they don't take offense to it. You guys, my friends, you guys are always complaining. It's too wet. Yields suck. You guys are like golfers.
I like golf.
When's a golf like a real golfer, not a hack? When's a real golfer? Swing's really good right now. You know, I'm really feeling it, putting well.
The big joke in our family is like, oh, I don't know if harvest is going to get done this year. It's like, it's going to get
It'll
done.
get
I don't know
done.
if planting's going to get done. It always gets done.
It'll get done. That's great. I love that time of year where you just, you guys out of the fields yet? And then just let them go. All right. Game Day Men's Health with our location in Ankeny. That Blum's getting the tee now.
Yeah.
Blum's on the tee. I'm on the tee. We had a nice email the other day. This guy who says that we are destigmatizing the low tee, which that's great.
Honestly, it's been awesome.
You like it?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm not getting any free stuff out of this. I'm paying for it.
Yeah. You like it?
I do.
It's like
It's a real deal. It's like a cheat code.
yeah.
I don't feel like it is.
It's a middle-aged man cheat code.
Mm-hmm.
Game Day Men's Health locations in Ankeny, West Des Moines, and also in North Liberty. Also want to thank our friends at the Iowa State University Foundation. Go to movewhatmatters.com. I would encourage you to make a gift today, even if it's just $5. Let's go on there on a positive Wednesday and make a gift somewhere on campus that we are passionate about.
And then you'll feel better. Positive vibes going into the
Positive
weekend.
vibes going into the weekend. And then last but not least, my friends at the Ivy College of Business. I got my Ivy College of Business coffee mug. The graduate program there doing great things.
Keep on keeping on.
All right. Just real quick, we'll touch on basketball and then we'll go back and wrap things up at football. We are counting down the days to Maui.
Yes, we need some action.
Although I nice little test from that Kansas City team.
They had some dudes. They had some guys.
I have one astute sports bettor who was at the game said, I'm going to bet on that team a lot this year.
It wasn't me that said that, but
No,
I
it
think
wasn't
that's good
you, but
advice. I think that's good advice. Those guys can play.
He may or may not work in this building.
The two guards they have are high major caliber guys in the right situation. And I'm a professional scout for a living now, so
well, again, like my takeaway on that is I kind of know what the guards are. Really good.
Curtis.
Well, I told you I thought he'd lead the team in
unbelievable.
scoring.
Yeah,
I went all in this summer.
He was unbelievable. And then the cool thing is, Taman has not played great,
No.
but
In fact, somebody asked me if he's hurt, and I'm like,
I
no.
don't think so. And then just like you see Deshaun there on the YouTube stream, Jackson and Jefferson just give Iowa State a whole different dynamic. What Iowa State did with them in the first half was super impressive. They put them at the high post and let them play make out of there. You could not do that with the previous post guys.
I'm not
And
going.
It's just really hard to defend.
Did you see Mommy?
Oh, I saw Mommy.
Oh, my God.
When he's shooting it with that much confidence, this is a fun team, guys. Like they did to a good team what a great team should do.
Well, I was thinking about two things. One, and I'm not throwing dirt on Steve Prohm's grave here. It's not what I'm trying to do. Like, I was thinking about that South Dakota State team that Hendo brought in. It was during the pandemic. It was during the 0 and
I did
22.
that game on TV.
Yeah. It's funny. I was calling the women's game that night from the studio at
that's
iHeart.
right.
They were
That's
playing
right.
Iowa.
That's right.
And I was watching that game while calling the other game remotely. Me and Noah Wolf were back in the old COVID days.
I mean, COVID was just a complete.
Point being, so this team, this KC team was picked to win the Summit League, which is a league I know very well from when TJ was at South Dakota State. So I used to go to its tournament. Like, I know these rosters really. I know the teams. And because Hendo, I watch all of South Dakota State's games still. By the way, Batchman, if you can get me some more of that South Dakota State beer from up in your area, I'd really appreciate it.
We're gonna see. I had the South Dakota State and the South Dakota beer.
Yeah,
they're really good beer.
They are really good, but I won't drink much of the South Dakota beer because I'm a jackrabbit. I don't like the Yotes.
I was cheering for the Yotes last night.
We all were, Brent. Point being, I know this league really well.
Yes.
Omaha with Coach Coach Hansen.
Yep.
You know, I know this league really well, and so that team was a pretty much unanimous pick to win this league. That's the same. That would be the same as what Iowa State played in the first round of the NCAA tournament last year with South Dakota State, and the same team essentially that came in and punked Prome's team that one year. Like, so here's my point. Of course, I'm not trying to compare Steve's last team to this Iowa State team. It's night and day difference. My point is, when you're an elite type team, like we believe Iowa State is this year, you blow that team out.
Yep.
Last year's team was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Different deal, NCAA tournament, a lot of South Dakota State fans there, neutral court, all that, yada, yada, yada. It was still a game, right? Like, Iowa State was comfortably winning that game.
Yeah.
They beat the shit out of Kansas City.
It was not. And here's what.
Smothered them defensively.
That's my most encouraging part. Yeah, the shots are the shots. Like, Mommy made some. Sometimes he's not going to make some, and the game could have been closer.
Absolutely.
What was positive for this game for me was that is a above average offensive team. I would safely say that. Iowa State completely took them out of. They were throwing up how many 25-footers, just prayers did they and the concern with this Iowa State team this year is with those new bigs, they wouldn't be as effective on that ball screen trap stuff. They were dominant against them. And it's not necessarily the bigs. Keyshawn and Curtis have turned it up another level defensively. I thought Heisey did a really nice job. It's just Iowa State is not fun to play against still. And as long as you have those guards.
Rebounding, too.
And rebounding was really good. I mean, they made Devontae Hall, who is a really good player, the point guard for Kansas City. He was, as the kids say this day, he was in hell there in that. There was a stretch there where he was just not having a good time. And it's because you don't realize how big Keyshawn is. Like, he gets after it. Same with Curtis. Taman's a great defender. Iowa State is going to be miserable to play against again, and that was my takeaway.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
And the offense is like you're going to be better offensively. Iowa State's still streaky, like we've seen it. But I think the upside still is pretty good.
But the floor is a lot lower when you have bigs that
exactly
can do what they're doing.
You got it. Because there was a time in that first half where it's like the shots weren't really falling. They gave it to Deshaun and Joshua. Well, like, all right, dudes.
I just, you know what I like to go off of? I have a text chain with my family, my Williams family. And my sister and her kids are all sports crazed lunatics. And like they very casually watch these games.
Yeah.
And they were just blown away the other night by how much better these guys look than Robert Jones. And I was like, okay, a little bit unfair.
Yeah.
But they're going off of just sheer offense. That's all they're watching, right? They're not watching running up and down the floor and all that stuff that we know Big Rob did really well, that we grew to really love.
All the grunts.
Yeah, all that stuff that we gave to love and appreciate about him.
Yep.
It's just the sheer size and depth. Having three guys that size is such a massive upgrade.
It is.
Where it was like, well, if one of those guys gets in foul trouble, now Hassan has to come in and play the five.
Well, and even when Hassan missed down in Orlando,
it was huge loss.
That's why I would say lost a couple of games.
Chat looked better.
He did. Yeah, and still everyone's like, well, offense looked kind of sloppy. C-Dub, Iowa State still was 1.24 points per possession, which is off the charts good. It's just UMKC slowed it down because they didn't have anything going offensively.
Did you see that the Cyclone men's varsity basketball squad is the #1 ranked defense from KenPomeroy.com?
Well, let's keep it up. And the offense is shooting back up.
Looking forward to Maui.
Tempo still slowish. We'll figure it out, though. They're going to try and move it a little bit more. I mean, Kansas City really tried to suck the air out, and they ended up getting bullied anyway.
We can't really put too much stock into the KenPom for a while, in my opinion. I think most people do it in jest, but give it.
Well, and then honestly,
another month.
The game on Monday, this team is 360, 300 Indianapolis. So don't expect
Ooey
much.
Pooey change their name? I don't even know. Yeah, it's Ooey Pooey, right?
It's now IU Indy.
Okay. Why do they do that? These Florida schools drive me nuts. Call yourself South Florida. Call yourself Central. They don't want to be like directional, but it's like
you are what you are.
Yeah, like UCF sounds terrible to me. Ooey Pooey was awesome. Like they should have branded the shit out of that.
By the way, we got to bring this up real quick because I want to get your experiences. So Auburn Iowa State plays Auburn in the first game.
Yep.
Auburn goes to a neutral site in Houston and beats Houston after
the fight.
having two guys square off on a charter flight, which is incredible.
Yeah.
Did you listen to the audio of the pilot?
No. It's out there?
It's out there. He's like, yeah, we have to turn around. We got
Were they like shaking the plane and stuff?
basketball guys fighting.
I didn't know
And then
that.
they turn around. They beat Houston.
That's
I mean,
Did you see after the game they were celebrating by running around the floor like airplanes?
no, I did not. That is
maybe you just need a little brawl. It's like the old team meeting, right? Players only meeting.
never changed, Bruce Pearl. That game, by the way, is an 8:00 tip. It's a night tip on Monday. That's going to be must-watch television. And they buried it on ESPNU.
They're gonna just be.
That's a top.
I thought about doing a game watch for that night.
That'll be a top 5 matchup, and it's going to be on ESPN frickin' U. And then they complain about the TV ratings.
I was
Whatever.
going through the TV thing the other night, and Kansas Iowa State, the game, and one of the games is ESPN 2.
Really?
Yeah,
I
which I was just like, well, that's a peculiar place to put that. I mean, I guess it's better than the alternative, but the other one is a Big Monday, so that one's not going to be a
better.
part. The one in Allen Fieldhouse is Big Monday.
Yeah, I was surprised.
I can't believe how many times Iowa State's on plus
Yeah,
this
that's
year
what I was just gonna say.
for being a top 10 team.
And there are a couple more games on that CBS Sports Network thing, which will be interesting. So better find that channel, everybody. We'll get used to that here. There's the first CBS Sports Network game is Omaha on the 15th of December, FYI. So make sure you find that channel.
Nick says Auburn will be a dogfight, full court pressure.
Marquette's an ESPN Plus game.
Yes.
What?
That was the one that
What are
boggled
we
my mind.
doing?
That'll be like the game of the week in college basketball when Iowa State and Marquette play.
That day of college basketball is nuts. I'll pull up the schedule quick.
That's
Yeah, I
the
know.
day,
Well,
like the
don't-
first. Is that like the first Saturday of
Then move the game.
non-football? I don't even know. Thanks to our friends at Gravitate Co-working. Check them out, gravitatecoworking.com. All your co-working needs in Central Iowa. Shout out to Jeff and his team for supporting us here.
Big Jeff Wood guy.
HopewoodJD.com. You're going to die at some point. You may as well be ready for it so you can leave a lot to your kids and your family. Get a will done in a day.
Saturday night. It was like, oh, holding on. But the sun came up Sunday.
Well, technically, it's Wednesday. If Hope has openings, she can get your will done before this
Saturday.
Yeah, technically, because she can get your will in a day. HopewoodJD.com. Should we do our Wiffles Hybrids Big 12 segment and look ahead to the upcoming weekend in college football?
I think we got I'm going to call this here at 9:45 a.m. on Wednesday the 13th. I think we have chaos in the Big 12.
Massive
this
chaos
I think
this
we have
weekend.
chaos in the Big 12 this weekend.
You heard it here first, everybody.
Yep.
And it all starts on Friday night.
That's
we
right.
have an RV lot special.
That's right.
We also have the Tyson Jake
Is that
Paul
Fri-
fight
is that Friday night?
Yeah. Batch and I were going back and forth, but we're going to have to watch that.
Are we getting it?
It's on Netflix. Everybody can get it.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
What? Okay, give me the read on that.
Well, you know I like a good fight.
I know. That's why I'm coming to you.
Tyson, you can bet Tyson at like plus 200.
Let's say
which
Paul's
seems
got to
like
be the favorite,
Paul's
right?
the favorite,
Yeah.
but not nearly as
Yeah.
big of one as I thought he would be,
How old is
considering
Mike?
Tyson's like 60 or whatever. I don't know. We got to look that up.
Mike Tyson is 58 years old. I mean, you got to go with the 20-year-old.
Well, I've been watching. They have like a 3-part documentary series leading up to the fight.
of course.
Yeah, it's a giant. I know what I'm doing here. They're sucking me right in. I get it.
Did you see the part? I don't know if it was in the documentary or not, but in an interview, Mike Tyson was like, "Yeah, I get in that zone, and Iron Mike comes out. Like I can't stop him." And it was just like the most terrifying
Yeah,
thing
he's
a
a-
boxer
But he's
could say.
58. Like,
I know, but have you seen him?
He's
Here's the problem,
no,
Brent.
no.
It's the
Hey,
here's the
I
deal
don't-
with Tyson.
I don't care how much tease on it. You're 58 years old.
I agree. Here's the problem. Okay, when it's like playing poker against a gajillionaire when you have, $2,000 in your pocket.
Okay. I do
When
that
the
a lot.
guy's not afraid to die That's a
Yeah,
problem.
but you wouldn't.
The problem with Tyson is he hits so hard. If he catches you one time, you could just go down.
I don't know.
I personally think that Paul should be a much bigger favorite.
I think so too.
But the problem is there's enough Iron Mike guys like us
Who are like, let it ride, baby.
Most of the Paul people are so young, they don't have, so like, you know what I mean? Like from a gambling perspective, I see why they're doing it the way that they are.
So that's on Friday night. What's the other RV special? Because I'm actually probably more locked in on that.
Houston and Arizona.
You see, and this line is pick 'em now.
Yeah.
I mean, not that game's going to cause any chaos, but
But it's still an RV lot special.
It's still something to watch.
You know what else is going on this weekend? It's the 3rd annual Fairway Festival of Meats. What do you eat at the Festival of Meats, you might ask? Well, anything that once had a mother. Sides are not welcome. Dessert is not welcome. We drink beer and we eat meat.
Is this a 2-day festival or just 1 day?
It's a 1-day festival of meats, but we have to start preparing on Friday.
It's a week-long preparation.
Yeah. Cooper and I have been texting all week. Wags is coming. You know, Wags is an old pig farmer, right? He's going to bring some Iowa pork.
Shout out. Purchase more ham and bacon.
Get it.
Only purchases around still, though. Or is not
Everybody's hurt. The whole team is hurt.
We're just purchasing now. We're just purchasing.
I mean, like, it's unbelievable,
It is
the injuries. I can't believe how many people are hurt.
What else do we got on Big 12 Chaos Saturday?
Okay, so that, again, Houston, Arizona is a 9:15 kick, so late night in the RV Village. We have Utah at Colorado, 11 a.m.
Are we putting Colorado on nervous time?
Well, I do know that I wouldn't want to bet them at minus 12
I
and
would
a half.
definitely not do that.
That seems terrifying to me.
I circle this one. 11 o'clock, early. You got Utah fired up after their AD lost his mind.
That guy.
Utah, if you think you're big time, let's see it. The crazy part, C-Dub, and this is why rankings can be silly preseason. This line in August would have been Utah minus 10. And now it's 12.5 the other way. It just goes to show how it's a war of attrition.
Baylor at West Virginia. 2.5 Baylor.
That's surprising.
That is an interesting game.
Yeah,
That's a fun game.
It's a fun game.
Two coaches that are embattled, although it feels like both of them are doing better.
Well, and hey, look at the standings now. West Virginia's 4-2.
Both of these teams technically could make the playoffs.
Iowa State's win over them looms super large right now with the tiebreaker scenario.
Great point. Arizona State at Kansas State. This feels to me like a house Kansas State game.
I would lean that way too.
Feels like Arizona State is a fun story.
They have been fun. Yeah. It feels to me
long road trip, Scattaboo injured.
like when Iowa State went there in 2000 as kind of the plucky underdog and lost 56-10.
Pulling way back.
Yeah,
Time
thanks a lot, Sage.
You got Cincinnati, Iowa State, of course, 7 o'clock Fox. That is now a 10-point line.
This is the game I'm circling when we get back after the Iowa State victory, the night special. Gonna get weird out there. I'm calling it now.
Kansas at BYU. 6-rated Cougs. 3-point favorites.
That's it.
Over the Jayhawks.
In what world would a 3-6 team only be a 3-point dog on the road?
You make this bet every time. Every time. Don't overthink it.
They're begging you. It's the same thing as the game with Iowa State last year. And just back to my point, anybody that watches Kansas is like, these guys are legit. They are. And I just, BYU, hold on for dear life now.
Did you see the stat on the TV broadcast last week of all the 2-win teams in college football and their point differentials? Like the best one was Kansas at like plus 48. The next one was like minus 52. There was over 100-point swing in that.
It's wild. But in BYU's favor, conspiracy.
Yeah, they're going to rig it.
The Big 12 could use
Brett Yormark is on the phone with the replay official.
Let's find out who the officials are there.
We should call up Utah's athletic director, get his take on the game. All gas, no breakfast wants to know what's the rarest meat that we will have this weekend.
Oh,
Well, we haven't made our trip to Fairway yet, but I'll let you know.
it's a great
If it
name.
had a mother, we'll eat it.
I mean, are we just like burgers? Are we doing brisket? Are we doing
Well,
ribs?
anything.
Ribs?
We'll do
You have
anything
ribs?
and everything.
I'm a big rib guy.
If it had a mother,
You're gonna eat it.
that's right.
So I did Google this on Sunday night because I said, are you gonna have fish?
Oh, yeah,
Technically, fish do have parents.
where whoever laid their egg.
Well, I asked ChatGPT. I literally
Because
did. I said,
like this, the mom and dad is their insertion with fish.
I don't think there's that, but apparently fish do have parents. So again, maybe fish could be
Do
allowed.
shrimp?
I mean, shrimp would be in the fish category. I'm not chat right.
I feel like shrimp is more of a meat than fish. I have
think they're
science to back that up, just vibes.
I think they're in the same.
Yeah, but
same
the fish,
category
they
there.
swim in the schools with their mommies and daddies,
Uh,
brothers and sisters.
Yes.
What, and the shrimp don't?
Hold on. Chat GPT says yes, shrimp do have parents! Exclamation point.
Giddy up. I love it. We'll be eating shrimp because they indeed had a parent.
Now you said mother.
Yeah.
A parent.
Yeah.
When you start talking about fish,
Yeah.
like we're kind of neutral there. I don't
Yeah.
know what we got.
Somebody's offended by this conversation. Emailing Cyclone Fanatic. I am
How dare you?
deleting my
I'm a
account.
marine biologist. I know what a chromosome is.
Is anyone here a marine biologist? That's a Seinfeld line. Do you know that?
No.
See if you can pull that clip up really fast.
Definitely can't play that.
Oh, okay, we'll get
Sorry.
canceled.
We can recite it, you and me. probably,
Life
if you
show's
want.
getting a little goofy.
Is
here.
anyone here a marine biologist?
See, he was angry that day, my friends.
Our audience will love that. All right, there you go. There's your Wiffles Hybrids Big 12 segment.
I'm
with
calling-
a splash of meat.
I'm
fest.
calling for chaos on this weekend. Tyson fight included.
You think Tyson's got a shot, eh?
No, I don't. I really don't. Like I'm not sure. I'm not putting it in my ultra lead pipe block special elite gold plus play, but it's close.
The other, I feel like there's one marquee game in the country that we're missing.
So I got to tell the story because the Big 12 fans will laugh. I've got a little device in my basement. It's basically it's a very, very small version of like a ticker scoreboard thing.
Oh, yeah.
So my 6-year-old comes up and goes, "Dad, why does Alabama get to play Mercury this Saturday?" He's like, "Why are they playing them in the middle of the?" I was like, "Son,
Kids say awesome things.
it's because the system is rigged that they get to play Mercury, aka Mercer."
You know what funny thing Cammie said to me
And
yesterday?
then he says, "Why is Alabama still ranked 10th with 2 losses and we're not ranked anymore?" I said, "Son, welcome to the world. It's not fair."
This is totally off topic. Cammie says this to me. She was super disappointed because they have like a book reading challenge at her school. And of course, my kid's a smart little snob because she's like her mom, just really smart. Not a snob. I didn't mean it like that. And she was ticked because she got second. And I go, "Who'd you lose to?" And she said the kid's name. I don't even know. She goes, "But he wears gel in his hair. I think he's rich." The hell?
Elitist.
That son of a bitch trying to work,
Put gel in your hair. Can't be doing
and
that.
it's just like, okay, just because he might be rich doesn't mean he's a bad person. Like I'm trying to,
That's a good point.
we're inclusive here.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, that's enough.
Hey, thanks to the 1,200 people watching live right now. That's incredible.
Told you we'd
guys
have
are
over
awesome.
1,000.
You guys are awesome.
Tell your friends, Williams and Bloom. We'll plan to be here live on Wednesdays at 9 as much as possible.
And get your Ames Lager this weekend.
Yes, go buy yourself a bunch of Ames Lager.
Cash the check yesterday.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Oh,
Nice
it's
check.
been helpful, guys. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
How about can you go out and get another linebacker?
Listen, the more Ames Lager we drink on Saturday, it has a direct I'm not even joking.
I know you're not.
I'm like, that is a direct correlation. It's like, how can I help?
Buy it up.
And WeWillCollective.com as well.
He is Brent Blum.
Whoa, we got a couple more things to cover.
What's that?
I mean, the biggest one is
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
this rat bastard.
I forgot about Satterfield. Did you see the Cincinnati coach talking
did.
shit about our field?
I did. Pull up the tweet, Aiden.
Satterfield says the field is not a good field. There's no other way to say it. You watch the games and guys are slipping left and right. Says you can't prepare for it. They just have to wait and see the field before Saturday's game.
All right.
That is from Keegan Nicholson. I
He's
believe,
their beat writer.
beat
Yeah.
writer for Cincinnati, for the Enquirer.
You can get on Iowa State's mediocre football history. You could even say Ames is in the middle of nowhere. You can do a lot of these things.
Yeah, I know where you're going here.
You cannot rip on the football field and the awesome turf management program at Iowa State.
I completely agree.
That is a bridge. Like, you can crap on the bridge. I don't care. Like, it's a great bridge. We all know that. But that's a bridge too far.
I bet somebody has crapped on it.
That is a
Drunk.
bridge too far. And now there's only one thing left to do to Satterfield
Yeah, now you go out and kick his ass.
on that field.
We didn't bring up Tyson Bite in that whole deal.
Well, I hope Tyson's not involved with the
Yeah,
field.
Tyson better not be.
The field nonsense smack.
That'll get him canceled at Iowa State.
Tyson, like, we like you, but you can't. You were on that field.
If I'm Tyson Bite, I'm going into my boss right now and I'm going to punch him in the face.
Say, man, like, hey, you just woke up a sleeping giant. You can make fun of them for losing to Texas Tech and Kansas, but you start talking about the field, and we got problems.
What's funny though, isn't it? This is an advantage for Iowa State.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, this is
Yeah.
part of what you have a grass
This is
field.
why
for.
you have a grass field.
Yeah, like because you know what
And
type
listen,
of cleats to wear.
People do slip, but it's November in Iowa. Like, what do you like? This is part of it. I know we've removed some of the advantages, but hey, Iowa State, you need everything you can get.
I think it's just a dumb quote because it is a strategy play. That's why you have a grass field.
And everyone plays on the same field.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, I am pro keep the grass field, because I love when my opponent is thinking about other things. That's an advantage for me.
yeah, he's already making an
He's already making
excuses.
excuse. Now you run his ass off that field.
This feels to me like a big Campbell back against the wall, come out
I'm
and
so
have a
for it.
big win. That's what it feels like to me.
And then if you're running the social media for the Iowa State Cyclone Turf account,
You got to get after his ass.
You got to get your A game ready to go. Like, you haven't tweeted since October 14th, Cyclone Turf Grass.
Let's go.
I need you on that wall right now.
We need you. We need you.
Because let's be honest, Iowa State hasn't tweeted since October 14th. Iowa State was undefeated at the time. Let's get back after it.
We need you.
Come on now. It's head field manager Joe Hill and athletics field manager Michael. Come on,
fantastic
come on,
job.
Joe and Mike. Let's go.
Take it personally.
Take it personally.
I know I am, and I don't even work on the field.
Right.
Frankly, I've wondered if they should get rid of the grass field for back in the day. Now I don't. They redid it. They resawed it, and it's beautiful now.
Well, they got like some synthetic stuff underneath.
Yeah,
it's actually
great.
a really cool process.
It's phenomenal what they've done with that thing. Like 5 years ago, I was a little bit like, now I'm not.
Cyclones, have some pride for your turf grass people today or on Saturday, would you?
Yeah, get after their asses. He's Brent Blum, Aiden Wyatt producing.
Smoke.
Still got one more thing.
What?
All the CF merch is live.
Oh, we got all the new merch live. Look at those Barnes
Team
Farms
Tees, Barnes
hats.
Farms.
Look at the
Q-zips,
basketball quarter
all of
zip.
it.
Check that out. Go zoom in on that basketball quarter zip real quick. People are gonna love this. I designed this. Look at that, Brent. Isn't that sharp?
Sharp. Hey, then pull up the women's basketball team tee. I got a story for you. This is funny.
Yes, the new NIL.
So zoom in on that.
To get those for my kids.
Zoom in on Addie Brown for me, would you? This is great because I'm Team Addie Brown.
I can't zoom in anymore.
I can't team it. Well, anyway, Addie Brown is in that T-shirt. So we have to get permission from all the players, obviously, because they're using their NIL to help out themselves. And so we sent a message to the team, the women's basketball team, and Addie says, "Yeah, I'm in. I just don't want to look like a vampire like I did last year." So Addie Brown, vampire proof now.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't want to look like a vampire either.
I wouldn't want to look like a vampire. Those caricatures too, you just
I
don't
love
quite know.
You don't know how they're going to come.
which
But
direction
they March did a fantastic
I also
job.
feel like we maybe need to update ours. We haven't updated ours in like 5 years.
Oh, our caricatures on the...
Our
yeah.
whole like Williams and Blum logo. So if there's anyone out there who wants to help us with that, we would love to have a listener do it. That would be awesome.
Well, we had... Didn't you use like a guy in...
Yes, I used a guy in
Indonesia or
like Kenya
something?
or
Yeah.
something like that. I found him
Yeah.
on Fever. The old, but now like AI can do all that. But
I can do it.
I'd
yeah.
rather have like a actual fan.
There you go.
So
Fun
there you go.
show. Fun show.
Yeah, this is where we thrive. When Matt Campbell thrives with his back against the wall. The Williams and Blum podcast, we thrive when absolute chaos is coming, and we can smell it this weekend.
Here is the slogan for this weekend. Our backs are against the grass.
And if it had a mother,
We're eating it.
he's Brent Blum. My name is Chris Williams. Aiden Wyatt producing. We'll be back on Sunday night, everyone.